Chiga Yasuhiro has been appointed a member of the student council. After practice, he discusses the school president, Kokusai Yuyuzu, with Musashi. Rumor has it that the former vice president has been harassing him. Suddenly, Kokusai himself appears behind them. Chiga offered him a small duel, but Kokusai didn't want to and said he was just looking for Akutsu. He wanted the guy to be vice president, but was turned down. Kokusai offered the position to Chiga. The guy said he wouldn't accept just because Kokusai was turned down by everyone. The president said it's not true and he was thinking of him first, but didn't want to bother him. Hearing this, Chiga accepted. The next morning he saw Kokusai on the train. The guy looked strange and blushed even more when noticed his friend. Chiga realized that someone was groping him. When they got off, it turned out Kokusai was being groped every day. Chiga didn't understand why the guy was so attractive to others, but he was also fascinated by him. Kokusai started being hit on by a man and Chiga chased Perv away. The naive president thought the man was just lost. Chiga said he would look after him from now on, and he kept his word. He decided to cover him with his body on the subway, but got embarrassed. The hardest part was protecting the guy from himself. Kokusai said he was too embarrassed to go anywhere alone and suggested tomorrow they go to the barbershop together. Chiga's heart could barely stand it. They had never gone out together outside of school before. The boy was really worried. They both couldn't wait for tomorrow. Kokusai said that he was now also his close friend like Akutsu. In the end, Chiga wished him sweet dreams. In the morning, he continued to embarrass the guy. Someone was watching them. On the way they met some girls. They wanted to write about Chiga in a magazine. He agreed to be photographed only with his friend. The girls took a picture of them while Chiga persuaded Kokusai. But after that, the guy ran away. Chiga caught up with him and apologized. Kokusai wasn't used to this, so he got nervous. Chiga started to feel like he was looking for an excuse to show off the cute guy to others. He admitted to himself that he was in love and kissed him. At home, Kokusai couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. He didn't know what to do, so he called Akutsu, but he couldn't tell him what had happened. Chiga called him and asked if the guy was angry. He was afraid he had stolen his first kiss and asked him to pretend in the future that nothing had happened. Kokusai went to bed and someone came into his room. The guy dreamt about Chiga. At first it was just a memory, but then it turned into more embarrassing things. I posted the full scene on my Patreon. In the process, Kokusai realized something was wrong. He woke up and saw Chiga in front of him. Someone was molesting him while he was sleeping. Chiga decided to stay with him for the night. He was very angry about what had happened. Akutsu came to the house. It was him who told Chiga that Kokusai sounded worried during the phone call. Akutsu thought Chiga suspected him, but the guy was actually just jealous. Kokusai couldn't calm down after his dream. He wouldn't admit that Chiga was in that dream. Akutsu meanwhile found the house keys in the mailbox. The boy put them there so they wouldn't get lost. Chiga said not to do it again. There was some confusion between the guys. Chiga has a hard time socializing with other people, but Kokusai didn't turn away from him even if they were fighting. Chiga even learned to admit his mistakes thanks to him. He continues to fall more and more in love with the guy. Kokusai accidentally talked about his dream. Akutsu intervened in their conversation and told them that the boy's grandmother won't be at home tonight. Akutsu left them, so Kokusai and Chiga will be alone. Chiga began to think that his feelings were mutual, but he doubted it. He didn't know if Kokusai would be okay with his confession. The atmosphere in the room was very awkward. Chiga couldn't resist and kissed the guy. He said he'd turn the guy's fears into pleasure. What they did next I'll publish on Patreon too. Kokusai's tears of joy came out. They stopped at the use of the hand. Chiga wanted to confess his love to the guy, but suddenly someone rang the doorbell. Chiga was about to open the door, but Kokusai held him back. Musashi came to see them. He didn't want the two of them to be alone. Chiga admitted that he had done a bad thing by not calling the police, because he wanted Kokusai to depend on him. The boy, meanwhile, couldn't calm down. He came to get a drink of water, but for some reason hid. Musashi started to talk about Chiga's feelings, but his friend stopped him. Musashi also talked about how the guy used to do bad things to girls. From that day on, Kokusai started avoiding Chiga since he thought he was spoiling the guy who had a crush on someone. Chiga didn't realize what he had done wrong. President decided to relieve his stress in the student council room. When he was in the process of doing so, Chiga walked in. The guy told him to ignore it and keep going. Kokusai asked him to leave, but Chiga tried to find out why he was avoiding him. Kokusai admitted to him that he couldn't control himself after yesterday. Chiga was glad to know that he didn't hate him. They weren't just using their hands this time, everything would be on Patreon. Kokusai thanked the guy for his help. Chiga now didn't know how to confess his feelings, but said that next time would be even better.